Hi, students. This tutorial is to help you build your distance sensor program, the wall avoiding program we made the other day, but make it in Python so you start getting used to the Python commands. So the very first thing we're going to need to do is make a fresh new project, and we can call it distance turning Python. Now, it is very important that you go in and change the code options to Python only. This is the only way in which I'm really going to know that you're doing your own coding from scratch. So make sure when you create this, it says Python only. Now, because we will be using some commands that are specific to the motobit and the Grove sensors, we do need to add those extensions. So go into the advanced section and click on extensions, and we can add the motobit extension as well as the Grove extension that we worked with the other day. So you want to, again, get the Grove extension. So you've got those two there. All right. So know that you do have a set of commands that you can work with here. So that'll work pretty well. So moving on, we need to start here by, remember the on start part had two commands. The first thing we want to do is have it show a number. So that's basic dot show underscore number. So I'm going to type that in, basic dot show underscore number. There that is. And I'm going to have it show the number 2. Okay. So far so good. We're also going to turn on the motors in the on start section here. So that is motobit.enable and then motor power with a capital M and capital P on. So we will do motobit enable. Enable means to start something, and then motor power on. Okay, could be off if we need it. Okay, so we've got our on start section. We don't need an on start because in Python it'll just do the first couple of commands here. Now we need to add in a function. So let's remember how we do a function. We want to define a function. Let's call this turning. Okay, so define turning, and then remember we had open and close parentheses and then a colon. Now, if you remember, we had an if-then statement in here, an if-then statement. So we want this indented, and we want our first thing to say if. All right. Now, if what? Now, the if is the Grove sensors. We need to come back to the Grove sensors, and it's Grove measure in inches digital pin P0. So let's see. We can type Grove measure in inches, and then digital pin, and we want that to say P0. Okay? So if Grove measure in inches digital pin plugged into P0 is greater than 15, colon, then what do we want it to do? Remember, my apologies. We want less than 15. So if it gets within 15, we wanted it to do a couple of things. The first thing we wanted it to do is for the left motor to go forward and the right motor to go in reverse. So if that's true, if it is less than 15, we want to say the motobit command here. motobit dot set motor speed. So let's start typing in motobit dot set motor speed, and we want the left motor to go forward at 50. Great. We also want a second command that tells the right motor to go in reverse. So let's try that again. Motobit set motor speed, but we want the motor to be the right motor in this case, and we want it to go in reverse. Excellent, at 50. Okay. Now, the last thing we did is that we had it do an X on the screen, and that was a prefabricated icon. So I gave you the icon names here. This says basic.show underscore icon, and the X is nicknamed no. Okay. Basic.show underscore icon. So basic show underscore icon, and then we want it to be no, N-O. And there we have it. So our if section is done. So we can hit enter, and then we want to now do our else section. Now our else section, else, colon, what do we want it to do? We want it to just go forward this entire time. So what we're going to want is left and right motors to be telling it to go forward. So let's do motobit dot set motor speed, left motor forward. Good. We want to do the same thing, motobit dot set motor speed, and we want this time the right motor to go forward at 50, and that works well. And the last thing here is that we need an icon, basic show icon, and then the other icon was called, let's see, happy. That was the happy face that we had. So let's type that in, happy. Okay. There we go. Okay. So our else section is done, and actually our turning function is done. So we're done with all of that. Now, whether you want to put a pause in here or not in your turning, that's up to you. You can try that out. Pause is basic.pause 350, and that's okay if you want to try that or not. So the last thing we need to do is to call that function. So to call the function, we need to not just call it, but to put it inside a forever loop. So the forever loop is right here, basic.forever, and then we put the name of the function inside of it. So basic.forever, and then what was the name of our function? Turning. Okay, and there we have it. So remember, to be able to share this, you're going to want to, you can either share this as a published link like this and copy it, or you can take a screenshot of your code right here, and you can turn that in as your completed assignment. Now, I will ask that you try to upload this to your microbit and see if you can get it to work. Otherwise, good luck with this. Thanks so much. Hope it helps.